Hi, it's Michael. It is said that the way your body is, how it was born, its natural composition, to say, is not a coincidence. It's not some chance of genes. It actually has a purpose, and the purpose is to serve your spiritual evolvement, your spiritual evolution. So whatever the size of your body parts and shape, whatever the body's physical abilities, perhaps clumsy or very good mechanically, very coordinated, perhaps weak or strong, agile or a sack of potatoes. Whatever the attributes, then that subserves your spiritual evolvement. And as Dr. David Hawkins revealed, and is quite obvious through spiritual work eventually, that if you would consider your life as a symphony, as a musical symphony, then the spirit is the composer. As the composer, the genes are as the conductor, and the body is and other aspects of your life are as the result of music. So yes, the genes tell your body how to develop and so on, but it's not by chance, and it cannot be blamed on the parents, or it cannot be said, I inherited it from my parents, so that's what I'm stuck with. No, that may be a propensity or a possibility, but regardless, it is all orchestrated by the Spirit for a purpose. Now, some of the attributes or abilities of the body or of your life coming from the body, from the physicality, may not be desirable, like clumsiness, weakness, frailty, and so on. So it's almost certain that they are the consequence of your past actions, choices, attitudes, and beliefs, as it's been revealed by spiritual teachers and many other sources. You've had many previous lifetimes, and as it can be seen from the state of the world and how it's been so far, so many wars, battles, violence, and so on, then we haven't behaved really so nicely in the past. So some of the attributes of your body that you may be experiencing right now are as the consequence of those unloving actions in the past. So if you're experiencing some frailty, weakness, really poor coordination, or perhaps even to the point of being bullied physically, then again that is undoubtedly, almost certainly for sure, a consequence of your unloving actions, beliefs and choices in the past. So just because your physical body and your physical life has some attributes or some things that are not really truly appreciated, like already mentioned, weakness, poor coordination, frailty, body parts of sizes that are not appreciated, and so on. There is no point in wallowing in guilt, shame, apathy, bemoaning all the stuff, seeing yourself as a victim, or 180 degrees and beating yourself up as a perpetrator. No, leave the emotions out of it if you want to evolve spiritually. Just you don't have to be complacent with the state of your body. You can do intelligently, that's the trick, all that you can do to transcend, to overcome those physical limitations. For example, if very poor coordination, poor balance, or physical weakness is within your life, then it's perfectly okay to take gymnastics, dancing, martial arts for peaceful purposes, and so on, just to improve the coordination as best as it can be. And it's quite likely that some of these, what you perceive as weakness, has been programmed into the body on purpose, even for you to show the dedication, determination, fortitude, and sticking to it positively, not overdoing it, in overcoming obstacles. Because the benefit of being overcome physical obstacles is that it can be applied to spiritual obstacles that can be sometimes, they can seem sometimes much more daunting than the physical obstacles. Now, perhaps you noticed that it was mentioned at the beginning of this talk how your body was at birth naturally, or how your body has been naturally developing from birth. This has been said on purpose because if you were slim and now you're fat, now your body is fat, then it's definitely or almost certainly because of unhealthy lifestyle. So just saying, okay, so this has been programmed into my body by the Spirit. It is how it is. I don't need to do anything. It is what it is. Well, see, that's the thing. If you've been neglecting your health and your body has developed some unpleasant thing, then that's a wholly different matter, right? I'm talking about things that the Spirit naturally programmed into your incarnation, and by the way, you agreed to it, you were aware of it, you agreed to it, you agreed to incarnate to this incarnation with its conditions. Now sometimes there may be no other choice than to accept certain conditions due to spiritual evolvement. At the same time, still, as has been revealed by Dr. David Hawkins, the soul agrees to it. You agreed to incarnate the way you are incarnated. So just to be aware that it is possible the incarnation can get hijacked by toxins and negative intentions. So just saying, okay, I agree to incarnate like this, and I'm going through some shit in my life, so I agree to it, it's fine. Well, maybe that shit wasn't supposed to happen, perhaps, and it got sidetracked by some unhealthy choices on your part, It might have been not unwittingly, but let's say you were young and somebody offered you alcohol, and unwittingly you had a sip. Now, perhaps the alcohol wasn't part of your incarnation, it wasn't originally in it, but now the alcohol was introduced, and because it is such a toxic and violent energy and is connected with many other energies in the invisible world, in the unconscious, then it might have thrown your incarnation partly on a different track and attracted to you some crap that might have initiated some unpleasant circumstances. Okay, so regardless, any unpleasant or unwelcomed or undesired or unwished things in your life, the only way to transcend them, to truly transcend them, is via a higher power. With, or in other words, it can be said, with divine love. That is the only way to transcend and overcome unwished negative scenarios. So in order to do that, as has been mentioned during my previous talks, which are on this YouTube channel, first, divine love, the higher power, has to be invited through asking for it, through positive actions. It doesn't have to be verbalized, even though verbalizing it is important too. Through showing kindness to all people, being forgiving, being understanding, being compassionate towards others, and then doing your best to stay away from negative stuff like toxins. The major toxins, again, it's being repeated over and over: alcohol, smoking, drugs, coffee, even coffee, and there are many others. These are the major, most commonly used ones. Buddhism calls smoking, drugs, and alcohol the basis of negligence, and there is a very good reason for it. So staying away from toxins is extremely important. Very sneaky toxins that come in are mental toxins, negative entertainment. It's all over the TV and computer and video games. Staying away from it is the best. All these hunting, killing, chasing, crashing games, videos, it's immature, it brings nothing positive, it's just dull, stupid, idiotic mind entertainment. The recommendation is, if you want to see your life evolving positively, staying away from it completely. There may be some nice educational computer-based things, even though there is no conscious awareness of any, but maybe there are some. But even then, meditativeness, meditations and contemplations are far more beneficial to your incarnation than any of this stuff. All right? And also, in addition to prayers and living a healthy, positive life with a positive outlook, refusing negative emotions such as anger, resentment, pride, shame, guilt, apathy, laziness. Well, laziness is not an emotion, it's an attitude. But refusing all that and striving for the higher ones, gratitude towards life, and again, gratitude for the opportunity you have in this incarnation to undo your negative karma and evolve. And Dr. David Hawkins said, and the Buddha is reported saying, that it is extremely fortunate to be born as a human being, because you have an unprecedented opportunity to transcend negativity and to evolve in bounds and leaps. And a huge help in this spiritual evolution and in transcending all these unpleasant things in your life is through healthcare, such as chiropractic and neuro-emotional technique, NET, neuro-emotional technique. To find a practitioner for neuro-emotional technique, you can visit netmindbody.com, netmindbody.com, and on top there is a practitioner finder link. And even traveling quite a long distance to a practitioner is very well worth it, because NET is designed to detect neuro-emotional blocks within the system and resolving it. And by resolving them, they are replaced with more positivity, and all this negative, unpleasant stuff is being undone, disentangled and undone. Now it may take a good number of visits, but still there is a way, and it's been experienced in this life, then that if you're serious, if your intention is serious with evolving spiritually, then you can, incredible strides can be made towards positiveness, incredible ones, possibly bypassing eons of incarnations going round and round and round, stuck. All right, so that's about it. Again, just one mentioning prayers and positive affirmations, very important. Probably the best way to form a prayer is as a gratitude statement. I am very grateful for this, this, and this. For example, all right, or positive affirmation statement, positively stating what you wish to see in your life as if you already have it, while being aware that it's up to the divine, that what you pray for definitely helps you. How it manifests in your life depends on many circumstances. If you drink, for example, this is kind of a simplistic example and a little bit rough one, but just so you can understand, if you pray for good health, for example, if you have cancer and you pray to be free of cancer, but you drink alcohol and coffee, well, you may be negating your prayer, at least in part, and the divine says, well, you pray for being free of cancer, but you, it's impossible to help, right? So sometimes the divine, because the divine can see the whole picture, can see that something may not be appropriate for your life, or it is appropriate, but it comes on its own when the time is right, which may not be what your ego perceives as desirable, but trusting the divine is essential. So once you pray, Once you surrender to divinity and remain positive, outgoing, remove as many toxins from your life as possible, eat healthy, use positive nutritional supplements, stay away from negative entertainment. When you employ all of this, chiropractic, neuroemotional technique, prayers, positive spiritual books by Osho, Dr. David Hawkins, J. Krishnamurti, and Dr. Wayne Dyer and others, then all that attracts to you, all the positiveness, and on its own time, when the conditions are right, it starts manifesting positive and positive in your life, even though you may not detect it with your conscious mind. And as Dr. David Hawkins repeatedly says, sometimes you think you're stuck and all of a sudden there is this huge jump ahead. All right, so that's it for this talk. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below the video. Michael out.